Hi people, Marinori Himberg here again. This is going to be a follow-up video to a previous video of mine called Happiness and hold on, let me look up the title. What it means to be happy. If you want to watch that video, you haven't seen it, then just check the link to the description below or check the end screen. I'm going to link it in both locations. In the video, long story short, I discussed the notion or concept of happiness and why it's overrated and that one shouldn't really worry about being happy and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and for people that are unaware of it, okay, if you weren't aware of it, well, now you're going to become aware of it. Happiness is a state of mind. This video is not going to be a long video. Like I said, it's a literal follow-up to the video I mentioned just now. Happiness, in case you didn't know, is a state of mind. You could live in a work less than nothing hole of a country and you can be happy. Happiness is literally a state of mind. It's a mental state. Happiness, like I explained in the previous video, if you've seen it, you know that it's like I stated in that video, happiness is literally just being content with one's existence and with one's life overall. But on a deeper note or on a deeper level, happiness, like I said, is a state of mind. It all depends on several factors, and it's definitely not a black and white matter. And like I mentioned in the video, I recommend it again. Don't worry about the whole happiness aspect. Okay, if you haven't watched the video, just watch it, and you'll see what I recommend and what I say about happiness. But yeah, happiness, like I said again, it's a state of mind. Okay, it's a mental state, and it has nothing to do with physical attributes up to a certain extent. Of course, someone that is wealthy is generally speaking going to be happier. Generally speaking, going to be happier than a hobo. Someone that's homeless, someone that does not have a dime to his name, someone that's completely broke, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about. When I say happiness, I mean that these are what I just said. That's general. That's the case in general. Okay, but material attributes do not matter up to a certain point. You could be fabulously wealthy. You could be in perfect health, mentally and physically, and yet you're ridiculously unhappy. You could have all the general things. You could have all the things that the average person wants in general. Okay, a good stable life, etc. And you'll still feel unhappy. Okay, you'll still feel like something is missing. That simply has to do with the fact that you're discontent with the way your life is, despite the fact that you have what the average person needs to get by and needs to be happy. It's all a state of mind. Okay, psychology comes into play. So in that sense, happiness can also something that one can program himself or herself. Although I do not recommend it, it's going to cause mental confusion and whatnot now. But in general, or generally speaking, happiness, since it's a state of mind, it can also be embedded in someone. Okay, you could, metaphorically speaking or figuratively speaking, take someone that is homeless and you could program that person psychologically to be happy, and that person will be happy and content. But happiness again is a state of mind. It's a state of mind, and yeah, definitely when the occult comes into play, yeah, happiness is definitely one of the things. If you're on the wrong end or on the receiving end, happiness is something that will be taken away from you. And by that, I simply mean that the best way to explain it is if I give an example. I remember years ago, when I had difficulty still, when I wasn't a magician yet. Years ago, let's just say let's just say roughly estimated a decade ago, 2010, 2011. Long story short, I went on a tour with people, with a friend, not even a friend, an acquaintance. And the place was beautiful. The place that we went to was beautiful, okay, and everything. But nah, it was not fun, okay. And why was it not fun? And this is where I come again to my point. It has nothing to do with the place or anything like that. It had to do with our mental states, our state of mind. Back then, I was lost in life. Even if I show people a picture, for example, of what I looked like back then, one person made the comment, and even then, this person wasn't nearly as bright as as the average person. It was someone local in my direct environment, and the person said, yeah. When I look at the picture, the first thing that my mind is telling me is that, hey, this guy's lost in life. He's lost his way. He's just lost. You seem unhappy because you're lost. In the picture, you can tell that you have no life direction or life purpose. You have no idea where you're going. It's like you're in limbo. And that was indeed the case. So it's not easy to see. It's not hard to see. It's literally just connecting the dots. It's common sense will tell you that. And that was exactly the case. And that's where I make my point again. It's not about material attributes. It's not about anything like that. You could go to on vacation to a great place. You can stay in a 4-star hotel and everything. But if there's something that's bothering you, if you're either depressed or if you're discontent, if there's something nagging at you, okay, then it's not going to be fun. You might go to a nice fancy place, you might do this and that, you name it, but it has to do with your state of mind. The fact that you're uncoordinated and that you're, for example, mismatching, you're there with people that you don't really care for, is going to make the trip suck. I know this from experience. And by the way, the reason I was lost back then is because I had a lot of pressure on me from black magic that I had to endure from enemies and a lot of negative energy and whatnot, you name it. This caused mental confusion for me. It caused a bunch of things. And I was just, bluntly put, I was just fucked up in the head. I was literally mentally confused because of all the negative energy, and I had I did weird things, and I was completely uncoordinated. And that's my point, as opposed to now, of course. Now I'm strong and focused and everything. And I went to the same places, for example, at least to one of the same places I went to a decade ago when I was lost mentally. And it was fun going there again. I was able to enjoy the place, but like I said, see, that's what it has to do. It has to do with your mental state. Happiness is a state of mind. Okay, if there is something that's weighing you down mentally, or if you are mentally ill, so to speak, I'm obviously not saying that you're crazy, but if you're mentally ill, as in there's some kind of mental disorder that's weighing you down, that's causing baggage, or there's something troubling you, then you're going to be miserable. Okay, it has nothing to do with material attributes up to a certain extent. Okay, provided that you don't go over the top in terms of that you're homeless and whatnot. Of course, you're not going to be happy. If you had a normal life once and you were homeless, you're going to be miserable. But barring or provided that you have the basic of life necessities to live, you're not on minimum wage or anything like that, you're like the average person out there, you make a decent living and all of your material needs are met and you're physically healthy and whatnot. If you are compromised mentally, if something's wrong with you, if there's baggage mentally that's holding you down, then you're not going to be happy. As you can tell, it's a very complicated matter. Believe me, it's like a never-ending shade of gray, or it's like never-ending shades of gray. It's definitely not black and white. That's why so many people struggle with it, and that's also why I mentioned in my first video on this subject that happiness is overrated, and that the last thing you should do is worry about whether you're happy or not, or chasing happiness. Nah, don't focus on happiness. Don't even think about it. Just go about your existence, about your life, and that is all. Okay? Doesn't matter whether you're happy or unhappy. It doesn't matter whether you're miserable. Okay? You are the one that will have to cope with it, and no one expects you to be happy, so to speak. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.